One of my earliest memories that deeply impacted my life happened at the age of 4, when Ramzi, my brother, had a terrible fever. That night, going to sleep anxious while seeing my father looking after him. I woke up in the morning, running to my mom's room to tell her that Jesus came and slept with us tonight, while pointing at the cross on top of the bed. Yes, Mama, this man. Ramzi's recovery is the day that followed, showed me at a very early stage the power of dreaming. This truth has driven my entire life. I was born in Gaza, 1968, as a fifth-generation child to a Christian family who has been there since 1968. My mom, on the other hand, was born in Egypt to a Greek mother and a Palestinian father. As a child of the occupation, I was extremely blessed to be in a closely knitted family, full of love and faith. I remember our beautiful house in the middle of my grandfather's orange orchard, and the sweet smell when it's filled, when oranges are blossoming. It's a magic place. At the age of 6, my mom took me with her to an education center, where she was studying English. This center was run by the Baptist Church in Gaza, and it had a library. The smell of the books, which was engraved since that time in my mind, and the serenity of this new place that provided, and how proud I felt when I left with my first library card. Within 2 years, I finished all the books the library have, from Bible stories, Charles Dickens, Alexander Dumas. But what I learned is books carry knowledge, and knowledge materializes your dream by bringing curiosity to your world. 1973, my mom took me and my brother Sami with her to visit her family in Cairo, Egypt, when the war erupted between Israel and Egypt. So we were stranded in Cairo for more than 6 months. And when we returned through Jordan, I remember seeing my dad for the first time. And while touching his hand, I asked, Baba, why your hand and leg are like this? I did not recall that my father lost his right arm, right leg, in an explosive attack. In 1970, in this period that followed the war, this chaos, my father was targeted, as he was the head, he's a doctor, and he was the head of Al-Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis, south of Gaza. In that instance, I recognized my father's disability, that he is different. And this brought the third important element in my life, which is compassion. Because compassion is the compass of your dream. It puts it into a morality frame. The hard reality of the occupation as a suffocating space did not occur to me until I was a teenager. Maybe when I wanted to sneak out of the house with the permanent curfew, I don't know. But what I know is books, is my love of reading, what brought for me new venues and possibilities into how to change the status quo. As by the time, my reading has expanded to cover French literature, Russian one, which I particularly loved. This led to my social activism at the age of 14 in the YMCA in Gaza, when I joined as a leader in the first day summer camp for children that we called it Simca, as a school YMCA. At the age of 16, I was the chief leader of the Simca, where we ran a program for more than 500 children, different day activities. Then later, we expanded the program to cover the 8 refugee camps in Gaza in their respective clubs. Being involved in politics in Palestine is completely a natural thing. In particular, when I attended Birzeit University, which is in the West Bank, back in 1986 to study electrical engineering. Birzeit at the time was truly an utopian society, filled of intellectuals, social activists, political activists, even party activists, where freedom of speech and dream are completely accepted. In my third semester, the first civil revolt erupted back in Gaza in December 1987. So I decided to go back home and to participate in what became known after that, the First Intifada. The First Intifada was truly a civil movement erupted by my generation, demanding our freedom and our right of self-determination. Of course, I have to join under a political agenda, a political party. And at the time, I chose the Palestinian Communist Party because simply it was an outlier among all other parties of not adopting the armed struggle as a means of liberation, but rather focusing on civil movements. On the 4th of August, 1988, the Israeli army encircled our house to arrest me from my bedroom, as it seemed I was a very serious threat to the state of Israel. I will skip the welcoming party that all Palestinian inmates go through, which is particularly intense today. And I'll move to my 20th birthday, happened 4 months after my arrest. While sitting in a concentration camp in the desert of Al-Naqab, seeing all what I have dreamed has been shattered. There is something inherently wrong, as I shouldn't be even here. The solitude night of prison, the constant fear of your guards, and the daily life errands that you need to run in this highly politicized environment have enforced my capacity to dream, as it was the only refuge for my sanity. But this time, my dream started from compassion. Compassion toward me, and compassion toward my family of what I have made them go through. So I decided, once I finish my 1.5 years in prison, I will go and study abroad, leave this chaos, go abroad, and that's what happened. 2 months after my release, I landed in Montpellier, south of France. Well, I did not speak French, but I love the French language. And it was the language that I used to hear when we visited my mom's family in Egypt. So I studied language for 1 year, and then I got accepted in the university, in Faculty de Sciences, Fac d'Avignon, which is the Cité du Pape, which is a medieval, beautiful town. And here I was struck with the hard reality and the impossible situation that I was in when I attended my first algebra class. So I entered my amphitheater and sat next to the first chair and look around, and as if I am in sci-fi movie. Kids behind are playing, dancing. A speaker, i.e. professor, speaks gibberish. So I look at the kid next to me and I say, this is the class of the first year. And the most despair feeling I ever had when he simply answered, eh oui. Despair of being in this foreign land, foreign place, unable to go back home because the Israelis prevented me to go back for 3 years. Well, at least in prison, we spoke Arabic. But for anyone of us in this case, there is no other way, really, except to go forward and use the only variable that you can control. For me, at the time, it was studying. So it was studying, failing, standing, going forward, a cycle that you will repeat until success, because it's an inevitable output. In this case, the years that followed Avignon journey probably were the most amazing period of my life, where I learned from the French, la joie de vie, how to enjoy life, like learning how to ski. And I'm not only thanking the French people for that, but also because the government awarded me at the time a full scholarship to finish my studies in Montpellier. Merci la France. So, in 1995, the Oslo Accord was signed between the PLO and Israel as I watched our chairman at the time, Yasser Arafat, shaking hands with the late Prime Minister Ishaq Rabin. So I told my friends, guys, this is it. It's time for me to go home. This is finally both leaderships are on the right path to achieve a peaceful solution, right? So a year later, I finished my master's degree in microelectronics and moved to Gaza. And here again, that my dreams have been shattered. As the reality of the signed peace has nothing to do with what I imagined. And the future, it was brewing to a dreamless place, well, at least for me. But now, I am a trilingual, I have a master's degree, and I have a Greek passport. So I can seek a future somewhere. Oh, by the way, the Greek passport is a dream that belonged to my mom, 30-year dream to my mom. When she realized, to seek her Greek ancestry, when she realized that her children are stateless, or even best defined by the Israeli document issued to us at the time as undefined. At least Greeks are. So, my brother Khader at the time was living in the UAE, in Dubai, since the early 90s. And I decided to go to Abu Dhabi, where I found a job in a construction company as an electrical engineer. Abu Dhabi, thanks to Abu Dhabi at the time, I met the love of my life, Miran, who is my wife and my life partner. By the end of my second year in Abu Dhabi, I secured a job with IBM in Dublin, Ireland. So in the year 2000, Miran and I, as a newly married, moved to Ireland, Dublin. I could go on for hours talking about the amazing island, lovely people of Ireland, who I especially thank for introducing me to golf. A passion for a weird, unfair game that becomes obsessive, but it helps me center. No idea why. So thank you, Ireland. But having a career as an engineer in IBM was not my dream. So Miran and I decided to go to France and study in Paris, do our MBAs. She did ESSEC, I did HEC. And we love Paris. On adore la France, right? So we love Paris. But then, and we wanted to continue studying, to work there, but our first lovely son decided otherwise, to join our family in May 2004. So we decided to go back to Abu Dhabi, as Miran's families are there since the early 70s. So we moved to Abu Dhabi to establish our new home, this time for a long time, I hope. And as we blessed during our life in Abu Dhabi with 2 other children, Yazan, our second boy in 2006, and Kaya, our lovely daughter in 2010. Abu Dhabi ended up to be the best place to raise a family. Imagine your children go to a school that has 60 nationalities as their schoolmates. It's truly a diversified society, where secure, safe, but it also values family and the unity of the family. What is also unique about the UAE is it has a unique country mission, which is Bina al-Insan, building the human, as envisioned by the founder of the country, late Sheikh Zayed. And I witnessed the success of this mission as a state. So I decided, 10 years after I was in Abu Dhabi, when I started my first company with 2 UAE partners, to implement this as a company mission. If it works in the state, it should work in companies, right? And it's true. The success of Basatin in this short period to become a market leader in its place has proven that actually building the human can apply to private businesses. they can generate nice return. In 2020, I read a book that published by Harvard Business School that the authors named this as a humanocracy, which translates to that. Today, I still have a dream that I dropped 25 years ago. This dream was to go and be able to build a better future for the people with whom I shared my childhood dream in my ancestors' land. How about your dream? How about we all dream together? How about our dreams to be governed by morality and judged by compassion? How about we all dream that we are defined as a human with our own rights for a better planet for us and for children? Love you all. Thank you.